Emmerich is one of the most dominant players that we have ever seen in Osu's history, being at the #1 spot for 1200 days consecutively, which is the longest in Osu's history and will most likely never be beaten by anybody. And even after he lost his #1 position to Akolibed, he took it back only 12 days later, which just proves how dominant Emmerich really is. And that begs the question, will there be somebody to overtake Emmerich at any point? Whether that be after Emmerich officially quits the game, or even during while he's still playing. And to answer that question, yes, most likely there will be somebody to overtake Emmerich. Not anytime soon, of course, but in the future, there will be somebody to overtake Emmerich. Because at one point or another, Emmerich is going to quit the game, just like any other top player would. But we don't have to worry about that for quite some time. But players seem to wonder who might be able to overtake Emmerich. And there's one player that comes up in people's minds, that player being a relatively new player, and that player being Ivaxa, the new rank #3 player after the rework. And people are wondering, does Ivaxa have the potential to overtake Emmerich at any point in time? And in my honest opinion, I think yes, he does have the potential to overtake Emmerich at some point in time. Especially with the feats that he currently has in his Osu career, and for being a relatively newer player compared to everybody else, he has done quite a lot. Now, I'm gonna list off some of the achievements that Ivaxa has done in his Osu career. Now, just for reference, Emmerich has been playing this game since December of 2015, which is when he first registered his account. And in that time, he has 109 days playtime, which is 2,624 hours. And in that time, Emmerich has been able to pull off some of the most insane and jaw-dropping scores, records, and everything in between. Now, Ivaxa, a relatively newer Osu player compared to Emmerich, joined October 2019, which is around the time that I also joined the game. And in that time, Ivaxa has played a total of 45, almost 46 days playtime, which is almost 1,100 hours, over less than half the amount of time Emmerich has spent playing this game. And in that time, Ivaxa has been able to make it to rank #3. Now, if that doesn't scream potential, then maybe some of his other feats will. Now, back in the early days of Ivaxa's Osu journey, he was setting new top plays at an impressive rate, going from 500s to 600s in just a couple months. But at the same time, he was super inactive a lot of the time. But that inactivity finally came to a stop in early 2023. And whenever he officially fully came back after his inactivity, he probably came back at one of the best times for Osu, because around that time, that was when Rapid Trigger started getting introduced into the Osu community, and we all know where that leads. So he definitely chose the perfect time to come back, as he acquired a Seiyu device, which is a popular alternative to a Rapid Trigger keypad, like the Wooding Uwu. And after he acquired the Seiyu device, he really started to grind and improve his all-around skills. And while nowadays he's known as probably one of the best speed players, back then it was a bit of a different story. Because if you watch the video from Bromaster L about Ivaxa, he said in the video that when he interviewed Ivaxa, that he wasn't even able to stream anything over 200 BPM, which is a lot different to what we know now, but that all changed after he got the Seiyu device. Now, like in Bromaster L's video, he then goes on to explain that the big turning point for Ivaxa's speed was when he started grinding ROG Unlimitation, which he got insane improvement on in a very impressive amount of time, with going from a 93% one-sided break choke all the way to a 94%, almost 95% FC, being his first 900 PP in just 2 months. Now that is really good improvement, and with all of his inactivity, it's even more impressive. And that's just the beginning of some of the incredible achievements that Ivaxa has been able to pull off. Now, I'm not going to go through every single achievement, of course, but I will go through some of the most notable ones. At the end of this video, let me know, do you think Ivaxa will be able to be a contender for rank #1, or will he fade into obscurity like some other top players who tried to go for #1? Now, to continue some of the achievements that Ivaxa has done, just at the beginning of this year, 2024, Ivaxa was just entering the top 100, and in just a little over 2 weeks, he then entered into the top 50, which is absolutely mind-blowing improvement. To go from just entering the top 100 to not entering the top 50. And at the time, he was ranked number 5 in Poland. A couple months later, he then goes on to set one of his most impressive plays at the time, that being a 99.20% FC on When It Falls by Jeff Williams with DT, being 1,220 pp, getting the first ever DT FC on the map, and skipping 1.1k pp entirely. Now, you need to be one really skilled player to be able to skip a PP milestone, and he is one of those players to do it, which just proves even more how much potential he has. And at the time of setting the score on When It Falls, which was only a couple months later after him entering the top 50, he was in the top 30. And just 1 month after that score, he goes on to set probably one of his most popular and memorable scores of probably all time. That being the Deceit choke he got with 1 slider break with DT on the map being 11.06 stars and near 400 BPM, 375 to be exact, which he got 1,360 PP, making that his new top play, and it could have been his first 1.5k PP if he had FC'd, and FC being worth 1,530 PP.
I'm the best at choking.
And this is what makes him probably the fastest Osu player ever, because nobody's even gotten close to remaking the score in any way, not even Emrek, the current ranked number 1 player. But by far, Ivaxa's speed has improved tenfold from what it used to be, which is even more proof of his potential. And the rank he was at after setting the score on the Deceit was rank number 11, just over a month after he set his first 1.2k. A couple months after that score, he then goes on to DT the Violation, getting a 9 miss run with 90% AC. Now, the score wasn't worth as much as the last score, it only being worth 631 PP, but if he had managed to FC the map with that AC, he would have gotten the world's first 2k PP score being worth 2,068 PP, which is insane, especially on a map like the Violation, which literally is 400 BPM with DT, 405 to be exact, and he was able to 9 miss it. And now with this score on the Violation, as the previous scores have been saying, he just keeps going up in rank, and at the time he got this score, he was in the top 10, being ranked number 7 in the world. And his rank improvement is just exponential. And now to some of the more recent news from Ivaxa, that being his new top play being his first ever 1.5k, which is on the newest Aim Farm map, song that might play when you fight Sands, being worth 1,514 PP, being a 3-mod FC on top diff right before Emrek sniped his score. But regardless of that, this score is still impressive, regardless of it being an aim farm map, because it just shows that he has the aim to potentially match up against Emrek if he were to improve it. Because even as of now, him and Emrek are the only 3-mod FCs on the map, so if that's not even more proof that he has the potential to go up against Emrek, then I don't know what is. And during all of this, he even overtook Nahus for rank number 5 and became the number 1 Polish player in the world. And just a few days later, he became rank number 3 in the world, overtaking Lifeline, who we thought was gonna stay in the top 3 for maybe forever, or for at least a while longer. Now yes, that was thanks to the PP rework, but even before the PP rework, everybody thought that Ivaxa would be able to pull that off. Everybody saw the potential in Ivaxa, and even to this day, people still see the potential in him to overtake a Kolibed for rank number 2, and potentially even fight for number 1 with Emrek. So for Ivaxa to potentially fight Emrek for rank number 1, it's gonna take quite a lot, because as of right now, there's only one thing that Ivaxa is better at than Emrek, that being speed. Emrek's speed now isn't that good compared to Ivaxa. Not saying that Emrek is a bad speed player in any way. He is a really good speed player, but compared to Ivaxa, he's not as good. And I'm pretty sure most of us can agree on that. But in every single other department, Emrek has him beat, whether that be aim, 3-mod ability, DT ability, ult ability, aim control ability. He pretty much has him beat in almost every single department. So if Ivaxa does even want to go for rank number 1, and if he does somehow make it to rank number 2 one day and wants to go for rank number 1, he will have to improve a lot of his skill sets if he wants to try and battle Emrek. Because for the time being, Emrek is not going anywhere for a while. Really, it all comes down to if Ivaxa really wants to grind for rank number 1. Now, we all saw how it went with the Kolibed. He got rank number 1 and then just kind of left. He hasn't really set any astounding plays ever since then, aside from a few here and there. And overall, he's kind of just stopped playing the game, which is completely fair. He has his own right to not play the game as much. I mean, he already accomplished what he wanted to. Now, will Ivaxa want to do the same thing? Does he have the same mindset for going for rank number 1? It really all just comes down to what Ivaxa wants to do. But I believe, and many others believe, that Ivaxa has the potential to stay in the top 3, potentially overtake a Kolibed, and maybe even battle Emrek for rank number 1. I think he's the most capable player of doing so as of right now, after the rework. Now, there's many other capable players of doing this as well, but as of right now, Ivaxa seems like the most potential that we have to see that happen once again. But I guess we'll just have to see. Let me know your guys' opinion in the comments below. Do you think that Ivaxa has the potential to overtake Emrek one day? Whether that be in the future, relatively soon, or maybe after Emrek quits? Because the day Emrek quits, it's just a race for number 1 at that point, since he's not setting any more scores. But who knows what his total PP will be at that point. Whatever it may be, it's gonna be a while to get up to where Emrek is. I mean, just take a look at his top 100. I mean, his top 100 is full of 1.2k plus, so it's gonna take quite a lot to get up to where Emrek is. But I would like to see this happen in the future. Maybe another fight for rank number 1, and this one might be even more interesting than the last. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. That's pretty much it. I know you guys wanted to see a video on Ivaxa, so this is what I came up with, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and sub, and I really want to say thank you guys so much for 1k. I really appreciate it. I managed to hit the goal of 1k before the end of the year, so thank you guys so much. I will most likely make a 1k sub special, so if you guys maybe have some ideas of what you would like to see for that, then let me know in the comments below. I'll be open to most ideas. I already have some ideas of my own, such as maybe a setup tour or an event that I could do on my Twitch, which my Twitch will be linked in the description if you would like to go check it out and maybe drop a follow. I'd really appreciate it. But I will have to figure that out for my 1k sub special. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know down in the comments below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for all the support recently. I really appreciate it. I would keep trying to make bangers for you guys, so hope you stick around to watch them. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your nights, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.